Welcome to the Mount Pleasant Podcast, featuring discussions and interviews about the people, places, and events that make Mount Pleasant such a special place.
This is the Mount Pleasant Podcast. I'm your host, Brian Cleary, and all thanks to the great people of Mount Pleasant Magazine, I get the honor, the privilege of introducing you to Mount Pleasant, the people who make it such a special place to do business, to work, and even to live. We're introducing you to Mount Pleasant's best on the Mount Pleasant Podcast. When you hear the word recreation, what does that make you think of? We're going to delve into that today on the Mount Pleasant Podcast, because in the town of Mount Pleasant, there's a new director of recreation, and he is our guest today. I'm Brian Cleary, joined by TJ Rostin. TJ, let's start with an overall view of things. When I say recreation, what does that mean to you?
Well, Brian, thanks. First and foremost, thank you for having me. I look forward to speaking with you for a few minutes. But recreation to me is our ability to provide leisure services for not only the citizens, but for the residents of Mount Pleasant. We provide services that people choose to want to interact with. We're a little different than fire or police, where they're a needed service at a desperate time, or even public services. You need your trash picked up once a week. We provide a gamut of opportunities for folks to have fun, relax, and just enjoy some leisure time with their friends and family.
So let's be honest, you're in charge of the fun department for the town of Mount Pleasant. That's a really good thing. TJ, I think when people think about recreation sometimes, though, they just think about, kids soccer, basketball, and baseball. Adults are involved in recreation as well. True?
Absolutely. Not only are adults involved in a passive way by bringing their children to activities or bringing them to a soccer game or a baseball game, we also provide activities for adults, whether it be arts and crafts classes, Zumba classes, adult softball, and the special events we provide are for anyone from ages infant to 100 years old. So we're really happy to be able to provide everything for everyone. And again, they have the ability to choose what they want to do and when they want to do it with our department.
TJ, I don't know if you can come up with a number, because as I look, it's just amazing. But the number of programs you have, first of all, and then is there any way you could even clarify or come up with a number for the number of people that you impact that are part of all these programs?
Yeah, we have hundreds of programs, from our youth programs to our adult programs to our senior programs. It's well into the hundreds each year. And the number of folks that we touch over the course of those programs and events are, I would have to say, into the hundreds of thousands. Our special events alone, we just finished the Blessing of the Fleet just here recently that had tens of thousands of visitors come to that event. So something like that alone is touching 20, 30,000 people. In any given sport, we may have 1,000 to 1,500 kids participating, and those go, every season. So yeah, we're touching quite a few people over the course of a calendar year.
I'm an adult, you're an adult. Let me go down this way. Think about the adult recreation programs that you have. Can you maybe talk about one or two that you think that people may not be aware of, but could be a really, really cool thing for an adult to be a part of?
So when we think about adults, obviously we can think anywhere from young adults to older adults. And I'm not sure how many folks are aware, although we have almost 3,000 participants at our senior center. We do so many activities at our senior center, from just folks coming in to work out, folks coming in to do an arts and crafts class, folks coming in to learn how to use the internet or listen to a financial advisor or a health screening advisor, things that some folks may not equate to a recreation department, but folks feel comfortable coming to our facilities and our events and seem to want to engage in what we have to offer. Now, maybe for a younger adult, we have all the sports leagues you ever want to do. So if you still have that itch to back to your glory days as a softball or baseball player, we have a league for that. Or even like myself, who played soccer growing up, still go kick it around with some friends in the evening times if I can still make it around.
Let me put two words in front of you and you could just react to them. Pickleball.
Growing fast. It is probably the fastest growing sport in the country, if not the world. It started off as a senior citizen activity, but it is much more than that. You have kids from school age all the way up to a 90-year-old individual playing pickleball. It's becoming something that is not just a small activity anymore. I'd say, guesstimating, we have somewhere in the 25 to 30 pickleball courts in the town of Mount Pleasant, which is a lot, but also at sometimes not enough, just due to the sheer number of folks that are really getting into that fast-growing sport.
In 1982, it was East Cooper Magazine. Now it's Mount Pleasant Magazine. Mount Pleasant Magazine is about the people, places, and events that make Mount Pleasant a great place to live, work, and raise a family. Your community, your magazine. Mount Pleasant Magazine.
You're listening to the Mount Pleasant Podcast.
This is where the pages of Mount Pleasant Magazine come alive for you here on the Mount Pleasant Podcast with me, Brian Cleary. Today talking recreation with the new director of the town of Mount Pleasant's Recreation Department, TJ Rostin, joins us. TJ, where did you come over to Mount Pleasant from? What were you doing before you took this position?
So previously I was the recreation director with the city of North Charleston. I was there for 17 years. I also had a short stop at the Goose Creek Recreation Department as their director and the assistant director at the Isle of Palms way back when I started this career.
Sounds like then you're a low country native. Have you been here your whole life?
Yes, sir. I was actually raised here right in Mount Pleasant and Walkendall Lakes. I've been here nearly my whole life. I'm one of the many transplants from up north. I was born in New York and then moved down here right when I was about 4 years old. So my birthday coming up next week. So been here almost 42 years.
But because you came when you're 4, I don't know if we can consider. I'll never be a local. I know that. I don't think you can qualify either.
Yeah, you're probably right. It depends on who you talk to each day.
Well, let's give a little insight into TJ so people understand who you are and what you are. If you're going into a restaurant, you're ordering shrimp. How do you like your shrimp?
Shrimp scampi is probably my go-to. I am a big seafood fan. So being back here in Mount Pleasant by the water is always nice. You can get your selection of anything you want seafood-wise.
Given your choice, are you heading to the beach? You going out on the boat? Or are you out of town and heading to the mountains?
Being kind of from the beach, I guess maybe it's lost its luster a little bit for me. I would say going up to the mountains is a little bit unique because, that's not something we can do here every day. But if you want to pick up and go to the beach, you can do that almost any day. But, being that the mountains is something that we don't have, I'd probably choose that.
And one more question in this line, and we'll cut it off here, but it's an important one. Carolina or Clemson?
Well, I graduated from Clemson University in 2001, so I'm a big Tigers fan. But I'm also not an overzealous Tigers fan. I have respect for all my South Carolina Gamecock friends. But, yeah, certainly want the Tigers to succeed.
And that's got to be, because let me use that to segue, a good characteristic for you in your position of a director, because we hear the stories in terms of sports, youth, and I see some of the signs at the field. Nobody's getting a scholarship today. So it's really good to have that temperament, I'm sure, when you're working with kids and adults alike.
Yeah, certainly. I don't know if I was born with that temperament or kind of just evolved over time. But, as a public servant, which is what we are here in the town of Mount Pleasant, we always have to understand what might be going on in people's lives that we don't know about. And for me, to be able to provide a service and a program or activity that brings joy to most people. Obviously, we don't do everything correct, Brian, and sometimes we do have some breakdowns and people get upset. But, trying to work with people. At the end of the day, they're the taxpayers or they're the visitors that are bringing money into our community, and to try to treat them the best we can is certainly very important because we want them to come back.
So obviously, and you mentioned some of the numbers and people in the hundreds of thousands that end up participating in the programs, which is exactly what you want. But what can residents of the town of Mount Pleasant do for the recreation department? Would I assume volunteer, coaching, referees, those opportunities are available?
Yeah, so volunteering and refereeing, which is a paid position, those are hugely important. It's very difficult to find enough volunteers. You don't have to be an ex-Major League Baseball player or an ex-NBA basketball player to be a volunteer. I'm sure at some point in time, every one of us has picked up a bat or a ball, or we've supervised our own kids or neighborhood kids, and just trying to give back because at the end of the day, we just want these kids to have fun. The chances of one of our rec baseball players becoming the next Aaron Judge are very slim. We want their experience to be good, one that's positive, and they learn a little bit. But on the flip side of that, it's very important that citizens give us feedback, whether it be positive or negative, on what they want to see in their community. Things from the most feasible to something that may be a dream here in a few years, because obviously we're working for our community and the visitors that come into our community. So we want to know what they want and how they feel. So feedback's very important as well.
So TJ, if somebody does want to volunteer or provide you some kind of feedback, what's the best way for them to reach out to you or the recreation department?
The best way is to visit our website. We do have an online portal where you can report an issue or a problem or even something positive directly. You can do it fairly anonymously, as well as on our webpage. We have all of our staff there. So you can email any one of us depending on what specific division of our department you're interested in. And we will certainly get back to you with pertinent information and ways to help.
You can read about it in Mount Pleasant Magazine. We go a little deeper here on the Mount Pleasant podcast. And today we're doing a deep dive into the Town of Mount Pleasant Recreation Department with their new director. TJ Rostin joins me, Brian Cleary, today on the Mount Pleasant podcast. TJ, let's talk about your website a little bit. A lot of stuff on there. Let's start with this. Explain to me what In Motion is.
So In Motion is our periodical that we do a few times a year. We actually have two of them. We have one that's mainly for our senior center, and then we have one that's for the rest of the general public. And that just gives everybody kind of a seasonal update on what we offer. Obviously, you can access it on the web. We also do printed copies that are distributed to various spaces in the town. Just a way for folks to see what we do. I know that hard copy magazines and things are kind of a thing of the past, but we have a lot of folks who are very interested in it. They wait for the next issue to come out. And it's just a way for folks to understand what we do, tell you how to be involved with our events, how to get your kids involved with our events, or how to get yourself involved with our events.
I love the fact that the town moves forward and uses technology in a positive way. I'm dating myself. I don't want to date you, but back when I was playing, baseball, soccer, football, whatever, if the weather was inclement, you had to make 17 phone calls and hope to get someone. I noticed on the website, there's a link there, Rainout.
Yeah, so we have what's called rainout.com. It's a service you can sign up for. And when we have a rainout or something that needs to be canceled or a quick decision that needs to be made, we simply shoot out an email. You can also receive a text message on your cell phone. And that way it eliminates the days when you and I were playing ball where we had to make individual phone calls to every single person. So they get the information instantly. And a new thing we just started, we just developed our own app for the rec department. So you can download that app. You can register online. You can find all the information you need. And it really kind of puts everything at the touch of a finger for our residents that are interested in our department.
And if I do download that app, am I going to find pretty much the same stuff that I'll find on the website, on the app, just that'll be on my smart device, I guess? Absolutely.
We've tried to streamline it so that you can get information just a bit quicker than, pulling it up on your laptop or your desktop. But yeah, it's been a work in progress for actually before I even got here in January. So we're really excited. We just launched it a few weeks ago, and we hope it's going to make being a part of our department a little easier for our residents and visitors.
Let me talk about some of the facilities in the town, and let's start here, the senior center. I don't think a lot of people maybe have been to the senior center or realize that senior center, that's a really nice building.
It's amazing. It's one of the nicer senior centers around. Obviously, I've made some travels across the Lowcountry in my career, and it provides quite a few services. And it's used by nearly 2,500 members a year, and that number keeps climbing. And it has enough space right now for the folks that are using it. We have a workout facility in there. We have multiple classrooms where we do exercise classes, pickleball, any type of instructor that wants to come in. We do painting. We have a billiards table in there. We also have a little cafe where folks can just sit back, talk to each other, and just, hang out with their friends. Because we know a lot of folks that may be in that senior citizen population would like to just, socialize with those that are kind of finding some things to do to fill their day.
And let me mention two of the newer things, or getting newer, growing. First of all, Carolina Park at one point was just a big old field. All of a sudden, soccer fields, baseball fields, basketball courts. That seems to be a growing and evolving space.
Yes, it is. We have 3 baseball/softball fields there, 6 soccer fields, 2 basketball courts, 6 pickleball courts, a dog park, and a concession/restroom building. It has been evolving over the years. It's a fantastic space that gets utilized upwards of 325 days a year, tournaments, events. It's one of our newer facilities that's helping kind of recreate the north end of town, if you will. But it's a beautiful facility that's been evolving over the years. It's a lot of people are getting a lot of use out of.
And I can't really use the word new, but it's more recent. The gymnasium and the facility that's next to Town Hall, that's really a great place to play hoops and do a lot of different things.
Yeah, our Town Hall gymnasium, as well as the track outside, is utilized for a multitude of things. We also shared a little bit with the College of Charleston. Their track and field team comes out there and utilizes it in the mornings. So it's a beautiful facility. We have 2 courts inside, as well as it also houses our employee fitness room upstairs. So a lot of us employees, either before or after work or on our lunch break, can go get a little exercise to keep ourselves in shape for the workday.
So, TJ, the school year is starting to wind down. Is it still the case that the recreation department gets really busy in the summer, or do you find things more these days because you've got so much going on? It's more spread out throughout the year.
I wouldn't say we're more busy. I guess a better terminology, Brian, would be we're busier in a different way. During the school year, we have a lot of evening activities with our sports and programming having to begin at 5:30, 6 o'clock when folks are out of school and off of work. The summertime, we kind of change that up. We're an all-day outfit in the summertime. We've got summer camps going on. Then we have evening time. We have summer basketball as well as some youth baseball and softball. So, we don't ever really stop getting busy. We just get busy in a different way.
TJ, as you look forward, you're new in the job, but obviously you've had a couple of months to settle in and stuff. Can you give me 1 or 2 priorities or things that you're going to put to the forefront in terms of continuing to develop the Town of Mount Pleasant Recreation Department?
Yeah, so a couple things, one of which is in the works now. We are developing a brand new massive park off of Rifle Range Road. There was just a referendum passed in the last election. We're going to have a fantastic 2-court basketball facility there with a walking track indoors, 3 more soccer fields, a playground, some open space, pickleball courts, tennis courts. So it's going to be a facility kind of in the middle of Mount Pleasant that's really going to be able to serve our entire town. In addition to that, we're really trying to ramp up our therapeutic programs. For those that maybe are unaware what that is, those are our programs designed for those with special needs. We've got a department here that's kind of evolving, if you will. We're hiring a couple new folks to really touch that element of our community. We know it's very important to provide activities for everyone. We certainly want to make sure that our TR community is being taken care of recreationally. So it's something that we're working on now, and you should see some more robust and increased programming in that realm.
And TJ, as our town continues to grow, we talk about infrastructure and this and that. It seems, and maybe this is a 40,000-foot look at it, but it seems to me your recreation department, you guys seem to be staying ahead of things and growing just as fast as the town, if not faster.
We try. Certainly, things evolve. You mentioned earlier in the podcast here about pickleball. Things come up, and you have to adapt to the new and upcoming trends of what we call them. One day, there may be something else that comes up that's, the new big thing, whether it be an athletic related or a program related or something in the cultural arts realm, a realm that a lot of folks don't realize falls under recreation. So, the art around town, the traffic signal boxes that are painted, in a way, that's us in the rec department. So we provide a lot. We try to make sure what we provide is a quality program and a quality event.
Any insight on what the next pickleball will be? Hoverboard, lacrosse? What's out there?
Well, you never know. If I had to guess, Brian, I'm sure it might be something that's AI related. Obviously, that's becoming something big that I don't even want to start to wrap my brain around, to be honest with you. But we want to do those things that people enjoy doing. People choose to do, not because they have to, but because they want to. And that's what our department's all about.
So get out, get involved in the programs. And again, TJ, if somebody's interested in volunteering or helping out, just go to the website to get more information.
Please do. My number, emails on the website, as well as all of our upper level management staff. You can email any one of us. We'll get your question or issue to the right person and get you an answer just as quick as possible. But we can always use some volunteers. We can always use help at our special events. So yeah, please get involved with our department and get involved with the town of Mount Pleasant.
He is the man in charge of fun in the town of Mount Pleasant. TJ Rostin, thanks for joining us today on the Mount Pleasant Podcast.
Thank you so much for having me, Brian.
It's where the pages of Mount Pleasant Magazine come alive. Thanks for joining me, Brian Cleary, on this edition of the Mount Pleasant Podcast.
Thanks for spending your time with the Mount Pleasant Podcast, your community, your podcast. Listen to past and future episodes at mountpleasantpodcast.com.